Tommy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. This is episode 69.
Yeah.
Are you ready to get the show started?
Of course, man. But I think, just like we always do, I think we got to start with a little bit of music.
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good evening. This is episode 69. One more episode away from 70. Tommy, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I am living the dream.
You should be.
I think we got a little thing this time.
You should be.
We always talk
What is that are you wearing right now on live YouTube?
The Tampa Bay. Hold on, let me show you the back here, just to remind you of who hit that homer right there. That's Brandon Lau right there.
Goodness,
Yes,
unbelievable.
Tampa Bay Rays. It's like I said before we started. It's been a minute since It's been a couple weeks since we had a podcast, and I think the last time I checked when we did a podcast, the Rays were in second place, and now after tonight, even after yesterday, I think the Rays are now in first place over your Boston Red Sox.
For now.
For now.
For now. For now, game and a half.
Swept.
But
got beat on national TV.
Red Sox are slumping right now. Let them get the slump out of the way. I was at the game Thursday night. The Red Sox took a big loss to the Toronto Blue Jays, losing 13-1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. went deep to left field, and it was great. We didn't even know if we were going to get the game. And the rain was heavy to the north. Boston got a little bit of some spot showers here and there, but yeah, Boston's little snoozing right now. So Tampa's taking advantage at the right time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially Tampa Bay's got a lot of players on the IL, especially in the pitching side. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, man, if this series wasn't a good preview of what the next 2 months are going to be. We saw the Yankees make a couple moves, bringing in Rizzo and bringing in Joey Gallo and Andrew Heaney. The Red Sox brought in Kyle Schwarber. Rays brought in Nelson Cruz.
And the Red Sox are getting Sale back soon. Probably, I would say by September.
Yeah, I've heard like mid-August, early September.
You got to get him in by September so we could have a couple starts under his belt by the playoffs.
Toronto's still there. They got a Jose Barrios from Minnesota. This is going to be a really good AL East kind of battle here for the next 2 months. As long as the Yankees don't make it, I don't care where the Rays and Red Sox don't or end up. I think we can both agree. As long as the Yankees don't make the playoffs, we'll be okay.
Yeah, that's priority. We don't want the Yankees in there, that's for sure. But Toronto Blue Jays is one team that's going to creep up, and any year now they're going to be top of the division because they're really good.
And the addition of Jose Barrios is fantastic. That they're going to be if there's a time for Tampa Bay, obviously, I think Boston will still be good, especially having a whole year of Chris Sale next year. And again, you can't put Tampa Bay under just because they've always exceeded expectations. But if there's a year that Tampa Bay is going to win this division and actually win the World Series, it's this year. So I'm hoping it'll be really good. That's why they call it the dog days of August, and this is going to be a really exciting time for baseball, especially us AL East fans.
I'm not too sure how I'm going to be able to deal with looking at your jersey for the next 20 minutes or so, but we got
I got a gray one, I got a blue one. You can go grab them if you want.
we got some wrestling to talk about. Where do you want to start? Do we want to start with WWE? There's big news there, or do we want to start with AEW? We can go anywhere with this. There's a lot that's happened in the last 2 weeks since our episode 68.
I'm in a good mood, so let's start on the good stuff. And again, we're not before we get on to this, we're not like a just bash WWE, sing the praise of AEW type podcast. We call we call a spade. What's good is good, and what's bad is bad. And AEW has been pretty darn good.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say as soon as you said we'll start what's good. Yeah, I'm assuming AEW.
Yeah, let's do AEW for WWE, especially with the news that came out this weekend that we'll get to.
Chris Jericho versus Nick Cage. What did you think of that main event? I loved the hardcore ECW feel to that. The bashing of the light bulb over Chris Jericho. He took a beating.
Yeah.
And news came out saying that AEW is not going to do a match like that again. That was pretty hardcore, to say the least.
I mean,
especially for Chris Jericho's age.
Yeah, it's tough to do those kinds of matches. I mean, that's kind of like the ugly stepsister of pro wrestling. It's deathmatch wrestling, and Nick Gage is when they announced him the week prior, I popped. I love Nick Gage. I've been a fan of his for a long time. Even the Dark Side of the Ring episode that came out on him, which I highly recommend, was fantastic, and I think it brought a lot more eyes to the world of deathmatch wrestling, CZW, everything like that. For having Nick Gage be on that stage and be able to kind of show what he does, I think one of the best things that Nick Gage does is, his storytelling. A lot of people don't like his in-ring action because, like you said, it's light bulbs, he used a pizza cutter. It is a glorified, like, torture porn of wrestling, but Nick Gage takes wrestling and what we love as fans so seriously. He is absolutely fantastic. I even think he did a promo earlier in the night before this match that kind of highlighted what he was going to do, and he kind of stuck to that. I think he did a really good job with that. The labors of Jericho, I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know if they're going to keep going with just completely random people.
Well, I think there's only like a couple more opponents. I think it's like Jericho has to get through 5 opponents if I'm not mistaken, and Juventud I believe would be the third.
Yeah,
Juventud Guerrera. That was a pretty big surprise announcement.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him on TV since 2001.
And that's what I like. I like the surprise announcements. I like the surprise of Nick Gage when they announced it. I popped. Like I said, I love Nick Gage, but what is the resolution to this storyline? We still don't know. Is if Jericho's going to go through all this just to get another loss? I'm sure that's what will happen because MJF needs to win more. But what kind of match is that going to end up being? I'm liking the labors of Jericho, but I had no problems with this match. I understand why sponsors wouldn't want. A deathmatch style match. It's so weird to say deathmatch match. But yeah, that kind of match on TV, especially on a TNT broadcast, especially going to, a new show in a week and a half, you can understand that. But no, I thought it was good. It was different. AEW it's consistently brought out what's different about wrestling, I think. WWE is, and again, not bashing WWE. They've done some really good stuff since crowds have come back. But AEW has consistently, ever since they started, just put on kind of like highlighting the indie side and all the black sheep stuff that WWE wouldn't let you see. And I think they've done a really good job in that. So I like this match, man. I really dug it.
Obviously, this is leading up to Jericho versus MJF at All Out in Chicago. What do you think the payoff is going to be here? Would this be Jericho going over MJF finally?
No, I just don't see the point in that. I don't think Jericho needs it. I'm still wondering what kind of match they're going to do because I kind of think, they've got to do something crazy. Like, is in an I Quit match? We've heard the rumors now that it's not going to be Hangman versus Omega at All Out at least, and not have that as your marquee match. So you kind of need something that's going to sell the card. I still think, obviously, now with the rumors of CM Punk, it's great. I'm so glad.
Well, let's talk about that. We'll pump the brakes there for a second. Daniel Bryan, we know it's been announced. Daniel Bryan has signed with AEW. He's coming. Supposedly, it's going to be His first appearance is going to be at Arthur Ashe Stadium at AEW Dynamite. From what the dirt sheets have said, I think you should bring him in maybe in Chicago. But it looks like there could be other plans. Ringside News. First of all, Ringside News. Those of you guys that are watching, don't ever believe anything that Ringside News says. We are more 10 times more legit than Ringside News for sure. They really get whenever they get it right, it's probably because they took it from another website.
Exactly.
Yeah, they took it from another website, and they make up stuff too, like the fact that they made up the fact that CM Punk signed with AEW. That has not happened that we know of, but that has not happened. Nobody else has officially reported it. The rumors are flying around. It's because AEW All Out, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, is going to be in Chicago.
Well,
I'm going to be there.
Not even that. It's the Rampage.
Yes.
Rampage will be the second week of Rampage will be in the United Center, and I think that in
August 20th, 12,000 tickets sold out right away.
That's called the first dance, right? I feel like that's got to be it. I feel like All Out's already going to sell a lot and already has. Rampage is the second show, getting your third hour of TV on there, your second week of Rampage, and you bring out CM Punk to bring up even more hype and create pay-per-view sales for All Out in Chicago.
Somebody was saying that could be the night that Rampage at United Center of all places. Again, like 12,000 tickets were sold that first night. A lot of people anticipating that could be the night. Although I won't be surprised if he makes his first appearance NXT style in Chicago during the All Out weekend. But I've been hearing quite possibly Rampage August 20th.
That's what I'm hedging my bets on. I just think you can drive up.
But there's been no official announcement about CM Punk yet.
They did hint at it this week, that Darby Allin promo where he was saying, even if you're the best in the world, I'll be there at Rampage. And obviously best in the world, hinting at CM Punk. No, I'm excited. I think it almost. I don't think AEW would do this.
Hey, listen, it could be Shane McMahon. Just messing.
That's the thing.
I
really don't think the AEW.
That is a CM Punk reference.
If it's not CM Punk, like the amount of just rumors and just stuff that's gone on the last few weeks, if they don't deliver with CM Punk, people are gonna lose their mind.
If CM Punk doesn't show up this All Out weekend at the latest,
let's just say this month.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever coming. This is the platform you do it.
I don't either, but it's just like
you had the chance a couple of years ago when they were in Chicago. They didn't do it for whatever reason, but thank God, because now this is even better a time to do it.
See, it's like no one, even if you like him, dislike him, no one can deny the pop that man is going to get, especially if it's in Chicago, which we both think that it will be. I mean, just I can't even put into words how excited I'm gonna be, because he is my favorite wrestler of all time. But just like the average wrestling fan, like him or don't like him, he's not popular anymore. He's been out of the business for too long. He's still the best. Whatever. That pop that he's gonna have in Chicago is going to be. It's going to be 98 levels of Austin. And obviously you would know that more than I would.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
TV and on DVDs and stuff. Like, I can't imagine the pop.
Again, 2011 Money in the Bank. And I think that pop is going to be surpassed when he shows up.
When you hear Cult of Personality, because obviously WWE doesn't know the song, I'm sure Tony Khan probably pony up the money.
He's coming out to Cult of Personality.
It's just going to. I mean, the roof. This sounds like, obviously, it's a hyperbole and all that. The roof really may not be able to contain how hyped those fans are, just because as wrestling fans, the casual fan, we've been waiting 7 years for this man to make a return to the ring. It never seemed possible again. And now it's
He was too busy in UFC,
Yeah.
putting himself in territory he had no business in the first place.
Yeah, and he did acting. Obviously, he's coming out with that new show, Healed. He's a guest star on it with Stephen Amell. But it's just the excitement. Like we're talking about it. It almost is like when we were talking about like before fans came back. Like I'm just waiting for this show to happen because I just want to see him come back. Like I don't care if he's got it in the ring or not. Like yeah, of course, I want to see him have classic matches with all the young talent, but CM Punk in a wrestling ring, like 2021 and 2020 have been some of the weirdest years. I would have never bet on that. I thought it would have happened way sooner.
Yeah.
Now he's getting old, but AEW's done it, man. They really have gave wrestling fans and just people in wrestling a second opportunity almost to kind of change their careers and just not.
Even though you said that CM Punk is aged a little bit, that's true. But at the same time, he hasn't worked a whole lot, so he's probably tacked on a couple of years.
I know he stayed in good shape just because of the UFC stuff, and he obviously he was training for that heel show on Stars. He was getting back. I don't know if he's in wrestling shape. Obviously, that's different when you're acting it out versus actually being in the ring. But I mean, if the rumors are to be believed, and his first dance partner is going to be Darby Allin, I mean, sign me the hell up. Like that, please. I would pay for that hand over fist. Could you imagine if that match was on the All Out card though? Darby versus CM Punk.
My goodness.
Who goes over? Like, who gets the pop?
Punk goes over, but they'll both look good.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm just like Darby might be the heel almost in that match. Just
yeah, no, Punk is gonna go over. Yeah, for sure.
So
rumors about Brock Lesnar maybe signing with AEW. I don't know, man.
I'm not. I don't think so.
I believe it when I see it. I think he's more of a WWE guy.
I think it got debunked by Meltzer.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. But man, that would send a massive earthquake in the wrestling world if that happened for sure. But moving on, we have some stuff to cover here. Malachi Black, how do you feel about his run so far? He looks pretty good to me. It looks like they're gonna go. I would assume Malachi Black and Cody would get the match at All Out.
Yeah. I almost feel like there should be a stipulation to that match. I don't know if I kind of just want to see them one-on-one. I really like what they're doing, Malachi Black. This past week, even Cody, was about to start one of those promos, and it's not like Cody can't do a promo because obviously he can. It's the whole like the American Dream promo. We don't need that. And he started it off, said like a sentence, and Malachi just hit him straight with a kick to the face. I love that. I loved what they've done with this character so far. It seems like he's had a lot of enjoyment doing what he's doing. It sucks because I know there's a big chance that he could lose against Cody Rhodes. I really don't think he should lose his first match. But
no. Malachi Black needs to go over right away.
He needs to.
Yeah, he needs it more than Cody for sure.
Just we need to see what happens over the next few weeks, just because the whole wrestling stereotype, like you start, you go down on your ass the few weeks before the pay-per-view, you're gonna get the win on the pay-per-view. So
yeah,
but yeah, no, I love what they're doing to Alice.
Well, Cody got the win that maybe he should have not gotten at the last pay-per-view against Ogogo. We thought Ogogo was gonna win. That would have made a star, even though Ogogo got that match too. Like, where the heck has he been? But anyhow. I digress there. But I think Malachi Black has to go over. Now, let's get to Hangman. It was the Elite versus Hangman and the Dark Order in the match that was built. This was built for Hangman Page to get that match against Kenny Omega. Again at All Out for the AEW Championship. All the signs were there. commentator has been planting the seeds for months. And there must have somehow an audible must have been called in the back office for some reason, because Hangman and Dark Order lost that stipulation match, and now Hangman will not be facing Kenny Omega at the moment.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to be facing him. Who? I honestly could not even tell you. Do they throw an immediate rocket ship on like a Daniel Bryan or on CM Punk? Well, no, it wouldn't be Daniel Bryan because he's rumored to come afterwards, but he could still show up at an all-out weekend, like an NXT style appearance.
Yeah.
But do they put the rocket ship on CM Punk and the hell the rankings and have him get a title match right away and he wins the belt like in his hometown of Chicago? Does this happen? Do they totally abandon the ranking system?
I can't.
Like, what's happening? Who's Omega's challenger going to be now?
I honestly think it could be Christian Cage. I know, like, obviously this, but it is still somewhat of a high-profile match. And again, I didn't like it. I obviously think that Hangman versus Kenny Omega should have been on the card. Maybe they'll do Pac or Eddie Kingston. I don't know. There's a lot of options of lower tier guys. Sounds wrong, but just guys that you can fill into that match and have a one-off chance. But I sort of understand it just because you want to make Full Gear also a semi-decent big pay-per-view. You want to make it, hey, Moose. Sorry. You want to make it just interesting in having that big match with Hangman and Omega on the Full Gear pay-per-view, you know, the last pay-per-view of the year for you. That's important. I still think it makes that outcome when Hangman does get the win, does kick out of the one-winged angel. It makes it that much more special. I don't know. I didn't really understand the thought of them not winning and obviously not having a challenger at least. It'll be interesting to see what they do because All Out is how many days?
We're 4 weeks
right?
away.
Yeah, it's 4 weeks
from All Out.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued to see who they throw in there, but I definitely think it'll be a throwaway, which sucks. I don't see Daniel Bryan or.
We got a bunch of Bray Wyatt comments in our chat room, which we will address in a short while, not too long from now. Some interesting comments, but yeah. So the called an audible. I honestly do not want to see Christian Cage in this main event. Yeah, this was built perfect for Hangman at this point. So I guess they want to maybe even hold off on Hangman for a while till November. Just get the Christian match out of the way, maybe.
I just think that you need, not that Full Gear hasn't been good. It just having a marquee match for your last pay-per-view of the year is nice, and it makes it even better for me because the next week they're going to Indianapolis right after Full Gear, and I'll be there. So
Full Gear's in Indiana?
No, the week after Full Gear, Dynamite is in Indiana, so I'll be there. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see who they throw in. It'll be a one-off though. I don't think it'll be anybody. I mean, it'll be a great match. I'm sure whoever they throw in there, whether that's there's just so many opportunities of people that they could pick that could get that one-off match that would be really good. I just don't know who they pick, you know.
No, you're exactly right.
Even Christian Cage is kind of still in a feud with Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
So they could still do a match at All Out. I don't really want to see that, but it's possible that match could happen.
Well, listen, they have about 4 weeks to build this. They better start building this main event very soon. I mean, it would be kind of hard for me to believe that it would be CM Punk as the main event against Omega at this point. I mean, August 20th, he shows up and 3 weeks later gets a title match. I don't know.
I think we'll see a resolution this week. I
Yeah.
think we'll have a title match announced on. Because I mean, if not this week, it'll be next week. Because obviously next week is the debut of Rampage.
Yes, I mean, I can't believe this year is wrapping up. I mean, SummerSlam weekend's coming all out. We're on a road. We're in the thick of things. I cannot wait. The AEW Dynamite show will be literally about 45 minutes west of where I am in Arthur Ashe Stadium, which could very well be a big event with Daniel Bryan rumored to show up that night. So, there's a lot going on. Well, we can revisit that stuff a little later, but let's talk a little WWE. Why don't we? So we got big news that came out, which I thought was odd on a Saturday of all days. Usually releases happen during the week, but in the middle of the afternoon, the news came out. I'm on my way home from Massachusetts. A great weekend. And my phone starts blowing up around 2:30 in the afternoon by everybody. But Bray Wyatt finally being released. This was speculated a couple times. I'm sure that this could be a possibility. Because of the first couple of waves of WWE doing the releases. So I wasn't too shocked, but at the same time, I am as well because he is a big name and he's one of WWE's top guys. The way WWE's utilized Bray Wyatt over the past couple of years has been abysmal to say the least. I think I think they started burying his character when they had him lose to Bill Goldberg in Saudi Arabia to one spear. I mean, are you kidding me?
Those shows are like non-continuity almost. They don't count. Saudi Arabia.
Oh, we counted. Everybody was watching and talking about it and was raving. But it's kind of hard to do that because WWE put it on the network as a special, as a pay-per-view.
Oh, I remember. I was sitting in college watching it.
So Bray Wyatt is gone. Again, let the rumor mill begin. There's talk. Oh no, we already did that. We did that comment already. We already talked about Brock.
I kind of have a problem with the fact that it's going to fuel the whole AEW only signs, WWE guys.
But they're not just signing only WWE guys. They're signing WWE potential talent that could be top talent.
It's not even. It's the people who just kind of overlook the fact. Orange Cassidy, over. Darby Allin, over. MJF, over. All these guys who are AEW or indie guy, homegrown talents that never sniffed WWE. Like, yes, they're obviously signing guys like Aleister Black and, Rusev.
And rumor has it that Buddy Murphy is probably going to be one of the next two. Yeah,
why not? Why would you let it go?
You gotta get it. Give me Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy again all day.
Are you gonna let Tom Brady just not? That's a stupid comparison. Are you gonna just let him sit in the free agency wire? Just you don't want to sign him because he's a Patriot. That's stupid. You sign the best people available. You obviously can make good money and good storylines out of these wrestlers and give them a chance to actually hit the highs they never hit in WWE. Why the hell would you not sign him? I hate that argument that AEW is only WWE 2.0 or something.
No. Bray Wyatt, David says Bray Wyatt would be the perfect fit to be the new leader of the Dark Order. I absolutely 100% agree. I think he'd be the perfect fit. And a lot of people, you're not the only one thinking about that. A lot of people are thinking about the possibility of him going to AEW because of creatively, it makes a lot of sense. You can have him do a stint in New Japan if you want. But Yeah, Bray Wyatt's gonna kind of have to somewhat reinvent himself again. So I think it'll be a little time before we see him, but that's just in my opinion.
Well, he's got 90. I'm sure he's got 90 days.
Yeah, creatively, the creative mind, the fiend, like he created all that. Was just all him.
Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, is one of, from what I've heard, is one of the smartest wrestlers in the history of the business. Like, he's so creative, such a positive person to be around. Like, if he is allowed to just, I mean, the Fiend was kind of almost seemed like his creation in a sense, but obviously WWE just said, "Oh, we'll take your character, put it on Alexa Bliss, and then let you like kind of die, and it doesn't matter." But if
he had some, he had a couple issues that we think there's possibility he could have had COVID.
Yeah.
There's and it's been documented that he took the loss very hard of his friend Luke Harper, his passing. And but during all these months, Bray Wyatt got himself into great shape. There's a picture that came out of him the other day, and he was on the road to SummerSlam. The plan was Drew McIntyre versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and apparently that's all scrapped because we're probably going to have Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal instead.
No.
But anyhow, I digress from that. So yeah, where Bray Wyatt ends up, I could not tell you right now. It makes sense to him to. I would love to see him as the leader of the Dark Order. So, we'll see. We'll see where we end. Not to mention, big Braun Strowman made some comments. I forgot he said like good to have you back or something like that.
Come home to me, brother. I think it's what he said, something like that.
Yeah, really good friends. I would not be surprised if
if they showed up,
they pair up and do something.
Here's my thing, because I saw a comment that said,
is there a way you think that is possible? It's probably with Bray Wyatt not going to make it in time, but a faction with even with Bray, Punk, and Daniel Bryan,
all three of them,
like an NWO style takeover.
That's tough, because I don't really think that Tony Khan would want to use like.
There's too many factions, but this would be the perfect time for that.
Yeah, honestly, my whole answer to this is based off of where Braun Strowman ends up, because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, he should be the leader of the Dark Order." No, I don't want to see that. I know people want it, but like,
not Braun.
The Dark Order.
Braun might even go back to WWE. I can see that.
Yeah, but the Dark Order should stay leaderless. I think out of respect to, out of respect to Brody Lee, leave it. Like, just leave it. Don't John Huber, let him and his family have that, and always know that Brody Lee Jr. is the leader. I love that. I think it's a great storyline, and they don't need a leader. They're just a bunch of, obviously they had the entrance that they had to open up Dynamite. Incredible, absolutely great. The pop was there. I don't think, like, I get the continuity of it, but I also do think that AEW is trying as hard as it can to not be WWE or continue the continuity of that. That'd just be like if DC borrowed Spider-Man for a comic and put him over and continued what they were doing in a Marvel comic. It doesn't make sense. They need to just let the Dark Order be their own thing without a leader. Let Bray Wyatt come in. If him and Braun Strowman come in together, hell yeah. Bring in Luke or Eric. What's his name? Redbeard. You know who I'm talking about. Eric Rowan. Bring him in. Let those three be a team again.
For sure.
Let them do that. But the Dark Order, I don't want that to ever have a leader again. And maybe that's just because, like, the better human in me sees that. But John Huber's family deserves to know that the Dark Order is kind of always there. It's like their husband, their father. Like, he was brought in to be the leader for a reason, and he'll always, even now, posthumously, be the leader. And I don't want to see that change.
Moving on, we had the return of Sasha Banks on Friday night. This was rather interesting because Sasha comes into the save early in the night because Carmella and Zelina Vega were beating on Bianca Belair. Sasha comes to the save. She's so happy, hugging Bianca Belair and what have you. They're celebrating. And this later sets up a 2-on-2 match between Bianca and Sasha Banks against Carmella and Zelina Vega for the main event. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair get the win, and they're celebrating in the ring. And I don't know. I felt something was very, very fishy in all this. The way, Sasha coming back, like all of a sudden, the face and something was up. I couldn't put my finger on it at the moment. I'm like, oh boy, something's got to happen here. And sure enough, Sasha Banks with the backstabber on Bianca Belair, going full heel mode on Bianca. SmackDown goes off the air with Sasha Banks with the Banks statement and the submission on Bianca. Great storytelling between the two ladies. I would presume that we are getting Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair rematch for Bianca's WWE SmackDown Women's title that she won by beating Sasha at WrestleMania, which was also a match. Sasha is back for that return match. So what do you think of all that?
Yeah, man, it was good. I know it was kind of rumored, I guess, is for Sasha Banks to come back. I think there was a report that came out. It was good. I like the dynamic. I always thought somebody who can switch, by the end of a show, it's a good heel turn. It's a heel or face. It's a good turn. This was good. I don't know how much I'm into the whole Sasha versus Bianca again. I like that.
I'm into it because we haven't seen it in a few months, and it's a rematch. They had a great WrestleMania match. It's a rematch. I'm cool with it because they haven't had any matches in between. We haven't seen Sasha in months. I'm very much cool with this. Alyssa says really don't like Sasha Banks returning and coming back as a face or a heel. She seems like she doesn't want to see Sasha win. Doesn't need the belt. Well, if you really think about Sasha Banks' runs, she's never really had a significant long title run.
Yeah.
I think her longest one was like last year going into WrestleMania. She had that title for like 4 to 6 months, which I think was the longest run out of Sasha's 6 or 7 title wins now. Sasha. I mean, I won't hate it. I'm just not too sure if it's too soon or not for Sasha to drop the belt. I mean, Bianca to drop the belt. Boy, I'm calling Sasha Bianca, Bianca Sasha. I mean, they're almost like they're the same personalities. Sometimes I get the names crossed up, but I would say maybe hold up until like close to Survivor Series for Bianca to lose the title. But Alyssa Sasha could very well win it at SummerSlam here. I don't know, Tommy. What do you think?
It's tough because like SummerSlam is that big, obviously, right outside of WrestleMania. It really is the second pay-per-view. I mean, you can make an argument for Royal Rumble and all that. Man, that's tough. Just because you have Cena and Reigns, I think that could go either way, but I still think Reigns is going to win.
Yeah.
Lashley's obviously beating Goldberg. There's no worries about that. You got to have one title change, I think, just because we're now just getting back to the fans. And I'm still harping on that. Like, I'm still hedging my bets that somebody's losing their title. And I think Sasha could do it. I think not that I haven't liked Bianca Belair's title chase or title run. I just feel like she did a lot better chasing the title because you have that with some people, and it's not a bad thing. Her run's been great. She's had some really good matches. I just enjoyed her building up to WrestleMania and having that moment where that she was crying and being able to win that title and chasing after it versus what she's done since. And again, that's not a knock to her. She's done an absolutely fantastic job carrying the company. I think that shouldn't be understated. I just, especially with the prospect of Becky Lynch coming back, whether she's going on Raw or SmackDown, let me see Sasha or Bianca. Now you got me doing it too. Damn it. Let me see Bianca continue the chase. Let me see her lose it by some nefarious ways. Obviously, Sasha's a heel. And Bianca just has to keep chasing back. And maybe, I don't know, maybe she gets it back at the Rumble or something.
And what about Becky Lynch? When did she come back?
She's like SummerSlam or the night after?
Night after, I'm thinking of the latest. I feel like this has been stalled.
Yeah, it'll be, it's got to be soon. I can't keep hedging my bets on the fact that she's coming back. And again, obviously, she was pregnant and all that. And
yeah.
You have to take time for that. We're not hurting for Becky Lynch or anything. We want her to obviously be ready and be in shape and feel comfortable. Again, her and Seth Rollins are both still brand new parents. It's an incredible thing, and being able to have that beauty in life, I'm glad for them. I'm happy for them. But obviously, she needs to take time and still be a mother and raise her kid. She just had birth a few months ago, if I remember.
December.
Okay, so still
like November, December. So yeah. she's been in shape and she's been in ring shape since WrestleMania.
But she should be deserving of time where
for sure,
allowed to be a mother and take as much time as she wants. Of course, yes, we would love to see her come back. She had the run of her life, one of the best pure, unadulterated, stone cold runs where it's just constant, building up to the top by the fans. The moments that she had with the fans, they helped her get to the top. And obviously her own style in the ring and being such a great talker and all that. So the fans want her back. And I'm sure me and you both do as well. I could see it happening at SummerSlam. If not, I'd still hold it off till another. Let me see it after Survivor Series. Give her as much time as she needs. I have no problem saying that. Again, WWE's kind of been in a flux recently, so I can't act like, because she will change. She will change the company look. Obviously, we can see it with Cena. Cena's helped WWE's numbers improve hand over fist the last few weeks ever since fans come back. But I don't see the need of the Impact right now if she can't come back at SummerSlam. Let's hold it off until another major pay-per-view. Let her have a good moment in front of crowds, and let's just go from there. But I do still think it'll be SummerSlam or the night after. If not, ask me in a few months.
So we have one more thing to talk about before we come in for landing, but this is the Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast, soon to be the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. But make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share this with your friends, your family. We're also on Twitter, available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify if you can't watch. But make sure you share this with your friends.
Speaking of that,
and share and tell them to hit the subscribe button. As you were saying, Tommy?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my friend Holly watching for the first time. So thank you for watching. And again, we love having new people watch the show and just be able to share our passion of wrestling or just enjoy listening to us talk, because I know we have some fun old conversations. So thanks for tuning in, and like Wayne said, share it out with your friends and subscribe and just keep sticking with us, because we're having a good year and we're enjoying the ride, and we can only go up from here.
Absolutely. All right, so one more little topic before we come in for landing. Big E. We haven't talk too much Money in the Bank. For those of you guys that are listening, if you want to hear the Deep Six, well, it was on the Aftermath, but if you want to hear the Deep Six crew talk about Money in the Bank, you could backtrack a couple episodes and see the Aftermath post show. But Tommy, Big E, with the being the winner of the men's Money in the Bank, we already know Nikki Ash won hers and cashed it in the night after. So that takes away one briefcase.
Yeah.
So now we have the men's briefcase still available, which Big E now holds. I'm gonna call the shot right here. I'm gonna say we get Lashley and Goldberg. Lashley wins, but Goldberg lays out Lashley, and then we see Big E come in and cash in at SummerSlam. And I think Big E gets the win there and walks out of SummerSlam, the WWE champion. Tommy, your thoughts?
Damn you, Wayne. If there wasn't that, if we hadn't just talked about Bianca, because like I said, I still think somebody's leaving with a different title.
Well, listen, there's like 9 titles in the WWE, so it doesn't have to be just one title change.
No, but I'm talking about the major ones. I'm talking about, I don't think Nikki Ash is losing. I don't think Cena's or Reigns is losing, even though I'd like to see it because I am a Cena fan. It's between those Bianca and Sasha and Goldberg and Lashley, but only in that aspect, like you just said, where Big E cashes in. I would be a little put off by the fact that WWE kind of wasted their Money in the Bank so quickly into the year, just having them last month, and now they would both be gone at that point. But I do see, even if it's not at SummerSlam, I do see Lashley getting the title taken off of him by Big E. I think that just makes sense, and I think Big E's the right person to carry that side of the company.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it would be fresh. It would be something new. I'd like to see what Big E can do with the title. But I like I said, bold prediction. Big E wins the SummerSlam. But I mean, if I were them, I would probably hold off until like Survivor Series just to give fans something positive finally to talk about Survivor Series. Because there really hasn't been any big happenings with Survivor Series in like 2-3 years now that I can remember. Pretty decent one with NXT in the mix. But again, did anything big and memorable happen outside of that? No. And then last year, I don't even remember what the matches were, except for Undertaker's last Survivor Series.
Put a gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I couldn't tell you a single thing off that show.
So does Sasha Banks turn too much heel, babyface? Don't like her character, like the NXT character more. The NXT. I liked Sasha Banks' heel character in NXT for sure. Hey, she's a good wrestler. She's great character. Oh, we got an appearance.
It's the Moosey. His name's Moose.
We got an appearance by Moose. Welcome to Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast, Moose. Listen, it was great to see Sasha Banks back. The absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I was delighted to see her back. What were we just? So as far as Big E goes, maybe you could drag it out a little more because you have a boring fall season. So maybe get us to Survivor Series and then think about a cash in there. By then, Bobby Lashley already had the title for about 10 months, which is a fairly, healthy run. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So that pretty much covers everything. We talked about AEW. We talked about the possibility of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan coming. We talked about where Bray Wyatt could end up. I mean, it would make sense for him. Like, he could fit well for Dark Order. But Tommy, to your point, could they just leave it alone too and then be fine with it? Absolutely. We have SummerSlam coming in 2 weeks on a Saturday night, the 21st. The first time it's on a Saturday. WWE SummerSlam's always used to be on Mondays. up until around I want to say 95. They started with the SummerSlam on Sunday, so this is gonna be the first Saturday SummerSlam that I could ever recall.
I got
But
broken by one of our viewers that's watching. They got me. They sent me a text message, and so my reaction's a little flustered. But yes, I'm very excited for SummerSlam.
yeah, listen, talking about Seth Rollins versus Edge. I don't know. I don't know who wins there.
Edge, maybe. I mean,
I want to see Edge go over. Seth Rollins is doing a darn good job in getting me to hate him
he's such a good
as a
heel.
character. He's
so
such
good.
doing good heel work right now. He makes me want to hate him, so that means he's doing his job. I have Edge winning for sure.
Edge is better. Again, being another, just like with Bianca, being a chaser of the title, being in that upper echelon, being number one contender versus being in a random feud. I think it works better if he's going after the title. So let him get the title, let him get a win over Seth Rollins, and kind of stay in the mix, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, you're right. I was broken on that one. I got on that one. I can't even lie.
Call you broken, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that as next week. Put that on my name.
Oh man! So yeah, we have it's 11 o'clock at night over here. My eyes are getting heavy. I'm gonna try to get to the gym in the morning at like 7 and do a 1 hour swim thing, and then work at 9:30. So I don't know how all that's gonna pan out. But SummerSlam that Saturday. We will try to come forth with an aftermath. If not, that Sunday. We'll see. We'll have to see how that goes. And then right around there, we'll have our podcast change name. Probably around SummerSlam or All Out. We were looking for SummerSlam, but we'll see. I have to do a couple things on my end to push that forward. Get some new sound bites for the show and stuff. So it's coming very soon. We will let you guys know when we change the podcast name, but it will happen during this summer. So that only leaves us within 4 to 6 weeks. So we have that going on. I will be in Chicago for All Out weekend. I'll be in Cleveland tentatively the end of August for Red Sox Indians. And then I'll be in Chicago. I'll have my laptop with me. We will have shows. So those of you guys that ask me when we're having podcast and shows next, we're gonna stick to similar schedules. We're even gonna do an aftermath from Chicago, which will be cool. Hopefully, I get like the city skyline behind me or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But so a lot of good things coming up, and we are looking forward to it. So again, make sure you guys are all subscribed to all that information that is scrolling on the bottom there. Yep. Follow that. Make sure you guys are subscribed, especially with the Twitter.
Podcast
if you're on there.
YouTube, Twitter, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more.
Yes.
Join your fans Wayne Rivera and Tommy Smith only here every week.
On that note, those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much, Tommy. We will be back next week for episode 70. Wow, it is coming up quick. Unbelievable. But those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much, and you all have an awesome night.